You better watch out, you better watch out, you better watch out. You better watch out!
Santa Jaws. I repeat, Santa Jaws. This film released in 2018, premiering on the SyFy channel, and I'm pretty sure they thought that nobody was ever going to see it again. Well, somehow it wound up on Amazon Prime Video, and I watched it. Why did I do that again? Before we get into this, here's some quick one-line reviews from my friends.
Well, that was definitely a movie.
This movie reminds me of my sciatica pain. Confusing, painful, and wish it didn't exist.
Yeah, it was a great way to pass the time while doing laundry.
I blame Adam, and I hope he gets eaten by Santa Jaws.
Clearly, this is riveting stuff. I mean, no matter what, it is a holiday-themed shark film, and as we all know, there is only one good shark movie. If you haven't switched from Nog to Straight Captain yet, now would be a very good time. The film opens on a very, very bad Santa trying to threaten a woman with a fake Christmas tree. At least the Scarface guy is in the right frame of mind, bringing a shotgun to an ornament fight.
No sugar cookies for you. You're gonna eat your words.
Of course, the puns are off the chain, as are Santa's tattoos. Okay, we've seen the title, let's get on with it. And there's the shark attack, which suddenly makes our great white friend feel very, very festive. If sharks wore hats, would they wear them like this? Or like this? Answers on a postcard. Or if you've never seen Takeshi's Castle, in the comments section, thank you. I'm old. It turns out this whole sequence here is a comic book drawn by this 30-year-old teenager, our main character Cody. His art stupor is abruptly ended by best friend Steve and comic shop owner / part-time Zach Galifianakis impersonator Clark. TLDR, Cody needs an idea on how to end his comic Santa Jaws, because of course the kid who got his hair cut from every Warped Tour band hasn't got an original bone in his body. Look, it's Christmas, not an American high school circa 2006. The Black Parade can sod off for a bit.
Whoa, this elf kill is savage.
Sometimes you just gotta jump the shark.
4.5 minutes. It took them 4.5 minutes for the obvious pun. Bloody Nora. Okay, next scene please. I can't take any more of these two dorks. Back at home, Cody decides that it's a good idea to creep on his neighbour, which of course gets him caught. That's right fellas, the way to a girl's heart is to obsessively stalk her and say nothing at all. Guaranteed charmer, 100% nice guy approved. Meanwhile, downstairs, the rest of the family, Mom, Dad, Brother Josh and Grandpapa, meet Uncle Mike and his new wife.
So, Georgia, what do you do?
I'm a model.
Oh, model. For whom?
Snapstagram.
NANI? Oh my god, have you never heard of Snapstagram? It's from the same people who brought us Face Tweet and Vine Book.
Okay, can we please speed this up? I don't need 3 minutes of introducing characters that are obviously gonna end up as Shark Chow. Okay, progression, good. Mother here gets a text from the principal of a comic that Cody drew showing a quote-unquote offensive cartoon that depicts the school administration in a rather totalitarian light.
The institution of uniforms at a public school is unjust, okay? Clothes are an expression of our individuality.
Cody.
And if we start to suppress free speech now, we're headed towards totalitarianism.
Hey, kid, do me a favor and save it for Reddit. Nobody cares during Christmas. Because we have a plot to advance, Cody gets grounded. And instead of anything going anywhere, there's this weird fluff scene with the uncle getting caught smoking. Okay, but like, why? Also, kid, put down that lighter. You seem like the type that has a secret box of fireworks. Are we just filling runtime until Cody finds an early Christmas gift from his grandfather in his room? Will the MacGuffin make something happen?
All this and more. Same bad time, same bad channel. And this film is bat shit.
So, I'm not an expert in languages at all, but the German engraved on that box translates roughly to whoever holds this pen has great power, be responsible with it. Again, I'm not an expert, and that's very simplified. I'm sure that someone who's fluent will tell me that I'm wrong in the comments. Speaking of wrong, I'm pretty sure you don't scratch to draw with a fountain pen like that.
It just hit me. Weird occult pen, German writing on the box, swoopy hair. That wasn't an emo cut. Run.
Oh dear. Also, maybe don't draw a sodding shark with a magical pen. Well, now you've gone and bloody done it. There's a shark in this very small boating lake now.
Okay, jokes aside, we're about 15 minutes into the film's runtime so far, and we've managed to establish the main characters, show off the shark, and set the stage. With the exception of one scene, the pacing has been pretty stellar so far.
Oh, snap. That's how a shark wears a hat. Smash cut to early the next morning, where Grandpa springs Cody from Landsberg for a sneaky fishing trip. Hey, buddy, spend less time simping and watch where you're going. Oh, good lord. At the fishing spot, which isn't just the same pier from earlier, just at, a different angle, Cody and Gramps have a heart-to-heart about his crush on the neighbor girl, and totally ignore the fact that he was stalking her with binoculars. But, hey, whatever. Grandpa's been on the eggnog since 5 AM. That son of a gun is so toasted, he can't even pass the hooch to Cody without making a mess, let alone checking his ID.
It's okay, Grandpa. We all know what Cody's hairline really says.
Did you know that eggnog is a really good fish bait? Because, Grandpa didn't.
Grandpa! Woo! That's one!
Back at home, Cody races in to break the news and nobody believes him.
Cody, don't make things up.
I'm not.
I'm sorry, but what reason do any of these characters have to not believe Cody? His parents both straight up refuse to even go to Grandpa's room to see if he's there, or even go to the fishing spot to verify.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. This one scene right here cemented the mother's entire character as, I'm a massive bitch and there's nothing you can do about it. I was actively waiting and looking forward to seeing her get chomped, which I realize now may have been the point. Look, this writing isn't exactly Dickensian. The film's called Santa Jaws. What do you expect?
So they take away his phone, embarrass him in front of the family, and set up their own deaths. Sweet. Time to eat snacks from a stocking because it's Christmas Eve and not because it'll conveniently hide the brand name.
We're back in out there. But what am I gonna do? No one's gonna believe there's a great white shark attack in Port City. There hasn't been a shark in these parts in 1,000 years.
Did anybody catch a word of that? Cody needs to lay off the Red Bull, or at least take some calligraphy classes as he resolves to go after Santa Jaws himself. Interrupting a riveting conversation between the Craigslist casting call special, Cody recruits Steve, who fills us in on the deep, storied lore of Santa Jaws.
Well, since it's your monster, you should probably get the pronoun right. Santa Jaws is a she.
Yeah, so that's not something I'm going to joke about. Respect other people, especially during the holidays.
And of course at first they don't believe him since, okay, well to be fair, it does sound a bit insane, but they don't dismiss him completely at first, unlike Mother Dearest. As it turns out, after leaving the master copy of Santa Jaws at the shop earlier, Clark gave it to a girl who was in the store in an attempt to make a new regular customer. Of course, because we need to move the B-plot romance along, It's revealed that the girl is the neighbour that Cody has been staring at, buddy boy style, and he just needs to kind of, get over himself and ask politely to get it back.
Almost done. And look.
Ooh, very nice.
Okay, movie, we get it. She's the stereotypical ditzy, vapid social media influencer. Let's just, for God's sake, let's just, thank you, please, fast forward to, the main characters, who find, holy schmoly, evidence of Santa Jaws. See, Mom? All you had to do was spend 5 seconds looking for Grandpa, and you've had this whole thing wrapped up. Also, why does Cody look so angry about the whole thing?
All I know is if he says don't show up at school tomorrow, I'm gonna fake a stomachache.
Uncle Mike and the Snapstagram model, whose name is Georgia, by the way, are now on a yacht because he's rich. And of course he has to rent a yacht, he's in Louisiana, come on. Oh my, lady, take it easy. This is a family film.
Anyway, it's just gonna be you and me out there, hon. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
You, me, and 120,000 of my followers. They can only take so many cardigans and pumpkin spice lattes.
That joke was such low-hanging fruit, my dog won't even pee on it.
Oh my God. My pores look terrible.
Okay, dead horse beaten. Uncle Mike has to clear something out of the boat's propeller. And...
Flea bells!
That's 2. And 1 scared Stifler Snapstagram model for good measure.
It's too bad she dropped her phone in the drink. I love how modern horror films always have to find a way to get around the modern convenience in everyone's back pocket.
Look, we're getting lost in the weeds of awkward scenes here, so I'm going to do the next 20 or so minutes of the film in one quick lightning round, just to advance us to the good part. The boys strike up the nerd to talk to Gina, the girl Cody has been giving the 1,000-yard stare to, and she returns the comic and joins the fight to take down Sharky Pants. Smash cut back to the parents at their restaurant, who will take this random stranger they've never met prior to yesterday at face value about a man-eating shark in the water, but not their own son.
And then they wonder why he hides in his room all day. Parents of the decade, right here.
Josh gets charged with looking after Georgia, who realizes that this shark is eerily similar to his brother's comic, and since he is apparently one of the few smart characters, resolves to find Cody and work this whole mess out. Meanwhile, on the dock, a happy little elf has a well-earned mid-morning can of local brew, which ends up just about as well as you'd think.
Ah, my leg!
Holy schmoly, that elf got it worse than anyone else. And now the other kids have seen the shark, right as Cody suddenly gets overcome with constipation.
Eat more bananas, my dude. It'll help.
Regrouping at the comic store, the gang pore over the graphic novel to try and find a way to kill Santa Jaws. Or at least they do, until the ghost of Christmas capitalism shills his various collectible weapons.
Selling deadly, potentially lethal items to kids. Because that's not a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Working out what's going on, Cody shows his friends the pen he traced the shark with, and Gina here conveniently speaks German and translates it to English. Just for us.
He who holds this pen holds great power. With generosity and heart, it can only do good. Beware of he who uses it for selfish gains.
Ah, thank you. Angry bloke in the comments who I addressed directly earlier. You may now stand down and stand by.
Okay, it's a magical pen that can bring whatever you draw with it to reality. Fair enough. Maybe, film, that you should have not used a fountain pen designed for writing as this prop. But hey, I get it. When the art department has a budget of 3 Little Debbie snack cakes and a copy of Snow Buddies on DVD, you've got to cut corners somewhere. Speaking of the budget, we're almost out of time on this retail set, so get the hell out of there before the owner kicks us out. And don't drop your pen, all that'll do is set up a terrible scene later on. Suddenly aware they have to think critically, Cody's parents go to Mike's boat to investigate. And...
Oh, it was a shark! A big one!
Oh, so now you understand the situation, eh? Clearly you didn't care about Grandpa earlier, but when the rich child-free relative dies, suddenly you care!
Quick, check every nook and cranny of that yacht for a premarital will. Otherwise that bitch is getting everything!
Out on the water, the gang tries to take on Santa Jaws, which, as expected, goes bloody awfully. Turns out that regular weapons can't hurt her, and also that the shark has complete control over seemingly non-sentient strands of lights. Go figure. Georgia goes for a dive, but before she gets swallowed, she manages to inflict some oddly effective damage on the beast.
How many deaths are we up to right now? 4? 5? Those are rookie numbers. Jaws got to 12. You gotta get to double digits!
What follows are some very poorly shot and very awkwardly acted scenes of attempted character development. Literally, there's 2 scenes in which the characters have a little argument, get over it, and start working together again. Hey, writer, here's a tip. If you want us to get attached to these people, do this earlier in the runtime, because at this point, these are meaningless, soulless husks that may as well start basting themselves in bacon fat and stuffing themselves with mirepoix. Either way, the dingbats work out that they need to use Christmas-themed weapons to hurt Santa Jaws. High school sucks no matter what cliche you belong to, and girls are complicated. And yes, I say cliche, not click, get over it.
It's like we stopped watching a shark movie for 10 minutes and somehow tuned into a Degrassi rerun. So, which one of these morons starts a career based on endless crycore rap albums?
Oh, look, it's the most responsible parents of the year again.
It's ringing out!
Papa's not here either.
Well, geez, lady. It's almost like it could have taken 5 minutes to investigate earlier and believed your goddamn son instead of forcing him to try and fight a bloody super predator with hokey teenagers.
Hey! Let's put this fish on ice.
Because all sense of plot direction has gone to the wind, we now have both the parents and the kids fighting Santa Jaws. And by fighting Santa Jaws, I mean that mom goes completely Karen, tries to steal a boat, and almost gets a divorce. Meanwhile, the 30-somethings, knowing that old bitey Bessie is attracted to Christmas stuff, decide to lure her in, and, well, it's sort of effective. Sort of. I'm pretty sure that pouring eggnog into a lake will just kill all the fish, but hey, this is America! Worrying about collateral damage is for commies and liberals! Everything seems to be going to plan, with the various weapons making their mark. But of course, because these characters are just as incompetent as they are two-dimensional, Steve drops the bauble, literally.
I would think it fair to say, quality aside, this film for the first hour has been all gas and no brakes. With some luck, this breakneck pace will continue for the final 30 minutes. Sadly, it doesn't.
For some reason, the movie gets oddly real for a bit. Cody is actually upset at the death of his friend, which frankly is super weird after he brushed off the deaths of his actual relatives like it was a T-Rex picking up a kid at a bad party.
Not so subtle hint hint.
Wait, why are we back at the comic store? Mom and Dad are, instead of using any common sense and looking at the lake, raiding the comic shop for answers, and holy smokes, lady, put that thing down!
It's okay, it's okay. That's just how they asked for the manager in Louisiana. Also, is it weird that Clark didn't react when they came storming in with the firearm? He only cared when they pointed it at him? That dude's got some messed up priorities.
That scene did not need to exist. At all. The parents could have just gone to the water and the plot would have been completely unaffected. But I guess the film would have been too short without it. Whatever the case, Cody realizes he's lost the magical pen and calls, you've guessed it, Clark, who doesn't pick up. Why doesn't he pick up? Well, because he's too busy drawing European supermodels, stacks of cash, fast cars, and plots of how to steal a pen from a group of kids chasing an antique automobile on push bikes! For what's supposed to be a funny, flash-in-the-pan villain moment for this otherwise pointless character, things get, again, weirdly real.
People are gonna die if you do not give me the—
I don't care!
I get the idea of keeping your audience guessing, but a complete tonal shift is just off-putting. For the love of everything, we're watching a film called Santa Jaws. You don't need to get this serious in a B-movie. You do, however, have to kill off characters while they make stupid noises. Oh no! Gina is still in the water after tackling Clark to get the pen back, and yeah, you know what's up at this point. This one bothers me a lot. Not because she just clearly lets go of the dock, but because, again, it's juxtaposed next to Clark making all those goofy noises.
It's like they forced Lloyd Kaufman to co-direct with Francis Ford Coppola. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes you can mix oil and vinegar and you make mayonnaise, but as anyone who's tried will tell you, about 90% of the time you end up with some broken, eggy mess that nobody wants.
It's so off-putting. Like, here we have the parents pulling the old call the cops but sound like insane people so they don't believe you trope, juxtaposed against the brothers trying to work out if they can use the pen to take Santa Jaws out of existence.
Well, I can't draw her again, I might create another shark.
Wait, did the film just get meta? Oh my god, the Christmas shark movie just got meta.
The brothers resolve to edit the design, which goes pretty much as well as you'd expect. Remove her teeth? No biggie, now she's got giant festive glass dentures. Try to impale her on a magical candy cane? Congratulations, you've just made a shark narwhal hybrid.
Well, it is causing a commotion, and it is pretty awesome. I wouldn't go as far to say that it's the Jedi of the Sea though, and frankly, I don't think it really cares if Cthulhu starts eating ye.
Good grief, there's only 20 minutes to go. And because it's a Christmas movie, we've got to shoehorn in a family reconciliation scene somewhere. And why not now? Reuniting with their parents back at the family restaurant, the obvious and eventual boil-over with Cody not being believed finally happens. And once again, things get a bit too real.
You are not listening to me. That is not a shark. That is Santa Jaws.
These scenes are just super uncomfortable. I came for a B-movie called Santa Jaws, not a Lifetime feature special.
Can you all, kiss and make up so we can have our third and final act, please? After giving the world's heaviest death glare to Dad, Cody's family resolves to follow the comic book and set up one last final trap for the shark, and cue the montage set to royalty-free holiday music. The plan, as it seems, is an adjusted version of the grenade bauble from earlier. Because that totally worked!
It's funny, these people can learn to listen to their son, but they can't quite seem to learn from tragic events.
The new version is simply to get incendiary turkeys in the water, shoot said turkeys, make a boom, and oh god, Cody with a rifle. That expression is simply chilling. Buddy, you can ease up a bit. I don't think that Gus Van Sant is going to make a sequel to Elephant anytime soon. Using more cheery holiday music as a lure, the first turkey gets chucked, and of course these people are about as competent at big fish hunting as they are at being a functional family. Also, I'm sorry, is this a GoPro shot? Seriously, a GoPro shot? It's so jarring since the camera quality is obviously so much lower than whatever it is they're using to shoot the rest of this mess. Speaking of a mess... And Dad's jumped in. If only he'd been around earlier to see what happened to Gina.
Okay. Once again, we have to give credit where credit is due. Dad getting chomped there actually looked good. Don't get me wrong, it was cheap, but it was good. It only really raises the question, if we could do it here and now, why didn't we do it for Gina earlier?
Stand back, Mom. Stand back.
Are they Maria? Seriously? That's a choice. Speaking of choices, why, oh why, is the mother choosing to react like a total cow? Cody mentions that the pen can probably bring everyone back and end this nonsense, but Mother is yet again not believing her son, even after literally watching her immediate family get eaten by a... I get it. She's supposed to be unlikable, but she's just badly written, poorly acted, and comes off as the kind of person who rants at minimum wage employees over expired coupons, which make her getting sideswiped all the more cathartic. This death is the most brutal one by far, and I'm gonna be honest, when me and the gang watched it, we cheered. We cheered a lot. But alas, all good things come to an end. Filling in the last panels with a wish for his family back, Cody realizes that he could just burn the comic, and... It's Christmas? Oh, for Pete's sake, don't tell me it was all just a dream, because that would be a complete cop-out.
No more of a cop-out than a YouTube critic picking on a made-for-TV holiday movie for his annual special, I suppose.
So it wasn't a dream? Cody comes to his senses and uses his magical version of reality to have a great time with his family, reintroduce himself to Gina, get his comic back, and ask her on what will most likely be a very awkward date. Oh, and of course take out a little more of his teenage angst in the family fire pit. That's still not a kid I'd trust with fire. Ooh, While the comic smolders, Cody looks deeply at the pen, pondering its power. But instead of throwing it in, after all that, you're going to end with sequel bait and a cliffhanger.
No, really, that's how we're going to end this? What?
Part of me feels like I was a bit too, I don't know, harsh on Santa Jaws in my criticisms. It should know what it is and what it wants to be, right? That's the thing, it really, really doesn't. It's either trying to be really, really dumb or really, really serious, and it just doesn't work. And it's not like this is from a first-time filmmaker. This whole skadoodle was edited and directed by Misty Talley, whose directorial resume contains other aquatic creature features like Ozark Sharks, Shark Island, and Mississippi River Sharks. Clearly, this is her thing. You'd have thought that she'd have put her best foot forward and owned this weird little niche genre, but all it does is fall into a very forgettable category of weird one-night Amazon Prime Video rentals.
Oh, since I watched this, you can now catch it streaming on Hulu if you'd like to watch it for yourself.
Hey, so editing Adam here. It's come to my attention that it is gone from Hulu. You can now only catch it on Amazon Prime Video. Because it's not just enough to make a terrible shark film that you may or may not have to share with your friends. It's, you know, it's going to be hard to find because you, I suppose.
I would say grab a physical release, but I couldn't find a standalone one, which is probably for the best since it would wind up in the Walmart dollar bin. The only one I could find was part of the Shark Bait collection, which is found in the $10 Walmart bargain bin. Okay, good grief, good grief. Well, that's the special. 2020 has been a, interesting one, and I'm gonna be honest just for a moment, making content has been able to help me keep my spirits up and stay somewhat sane during a rather unpredictable year. Wherever you are, I hope you are safe, healthy, happy, and most importantly, that you have a wonderful Krampus. Good night!
Hey everyone, thank you for watching this year's holiday special. If you liked that opening musical number, it was done by Sato Hara. You can find links to his stuff, his Twitter, and the like in the description. You'll also find links to all of my friends' stuff, because what I want this Christmas is for you to go and check them out.